time for Let's Chat with Shirley B.
Hi, and welcome to Let's Chat with Shirley B. You can join us on Rotation UK Radio by downloading our personal app on the Play Store, or you can tune in via the internet by logging into rotationukradio.org.uk, Sundays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Today's topic or subject is going to be called Random Ramblings, where we talk about different things that are trending in the media and different topics that me and my guests like to talk about. So first of all, I'll give them a time for a quick introduction and then we can get straight into it. So, Faith, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Faith. I work in a local authority in London and I live in South London.
Thank you. Davinia?
Hi, I'm Davinia and I also work for a local authority, albeit a different one to Faith.
Thanks, guys. So, as I said at the beginning, today's show will be about a few different topics, and the first one that is in the news this week, in the last couple of days, I think it was yesterday actually, it was about Prince William's godmother, Miss S. Hussey, I think it is, or Hussey, who has resigned from her post as she's a senior lady in waiting and a royal aide. And there was an event that happened and there was a woman that attended called Ngozi Fulani, and who heads up a charity that supports women from African and Caribbean descent who've been victims of domestic abuse. She told her story a couple of days ago, and to say that the senior lady in waiting, whilst they were all kind of standing around, maybe networking, chit-chatting, she said that she made a beeline for her. Her words were, she made a beeline. She came over to her and she wanted to see her name. So this particular woman has locks, and the locks was falling over her name badge. And she was questioning her, these are words from Ngozi Fulani, that she was questioning her about where she was from. And she said that she was from Sister Space. And then the senior lady in waiting asked again, where are you from? And she said Hackney. And then she said, senior lady in waiting again, and said, now where are you from? Where are your people from? And so Ngozi Fulani said that she felt uncomfortable and she felt awkward in the situation. And she said that the words we used were that by the senior lady in waiting, that this was going to be a bit of a challenge. And she said that she felt it was a form of abuse. What are your thoughts, ladies? What do you think about this? What happened, this experience? Do you think it was abuse? Do you think it was misinterpreted? Do you think she was right in what she's saying? Do you think, what do you think about it?
I think she's right. If that's how she felt, that's how she felt. No one can dispute that. It was her experience. I think that's the first thing I would say. Second, it's a case of we're always in these positions where we feel uncomfortable and then don't know how to address them. So we're left kind of doing nothing about it and going with the flow in that situation. Mm-hmm. Fortunately for her, she somewhat has a platform, so she was able to get it out there. But normally on a day-to-day, we experience those things quite often, whether it be in the workplace or it be in a shop, or just wherever. Mm-hmm. We're often put in that position. So it's not surprising. But what is surprising or disappointing is that the royal family have had enough chat and enough things going on for them, like bad press, and then they have this come up again now. It's like, you're really not doing what you need to do. Even though people don't rate the royal family, it's a case of they should at least appear to be trying. And that is pretty poor behavior, I think, and not acceptable. And they think because she's resigned, that makes it all right. It doesn't. Resigning doesn't change it. Obviously, it can't go back. But I think often organizations think if someone's resigned or they've been spoken to, then that makes it all right. But like she said, it's what happens after that now. because that could happen to someone else. Another black person gets invited to the Buckingham Palace. Do they then experience a similar thing? It's not okay. And I think it was about her locks. She probably did make a beeline, probably intrigued by them, and rudely touched them and moved them out of the way. No.
And also trying to read her name badge to see what her name is before telling her where are your people from. I think that was just rude.
Exactly. I think she had intentions. Like, apparently I'm guessing there was other black people there because she spoke about being in the presence of other black people. I don't know what other hair that other black people had, but the fact that she, in her eyes, she made a beeline for her. Why did you make a beeline for her? Was you intrigued by her hair? And even if that was the case, make that part of your conversation, but not no disrespectful, degrading conversation, and definitely don't touch it. Like, no.
And she should have known, she should have been able to read that Ngozi was not comfortable with what she was saying. But she persisted and went on and started asking her.
That's the thing,
more, yeah.
She asked not once, but twice. And the woman was like, I'm from Sister Space. I'm from Hackney. But I'm like, no, where are you really from? Like, rude. Where are you
and
really
I see that
from?
You're going to be a challenge as well.
Yeah.
Because, it's like, I'm taking on that challenge. I'm going to keep at you until you break.
She's going to take on the challenge, but also you're making the assumption that this black woman is a challenge. Like, why? She's answered your question. She just hasn't given you the answer that you wanting to hear because she's interpreted or trying to navigate you down a different route so you don't make yourself look even more silly and put yourself in a worse position. She's trying to tell you, I'm Hackney, I'm Sister Space, let's keep it where it's supposed to be. But no, my girl was persistent. No, where are you from? Where are you really from? Rude. If it was what? She might
have asked her, what is Sister Space? And tell me about your charity or something else. But she wasn't interested. She was just
You know why the woman's there, but yet you're asking about where she's really from. What's that got to do with the whole...
What's it got to do with it? Yeah.
Women and girls against violence. Like, no, it was just wrong on every level. I'm just tired of those things, really.
Do you think that, without trying to excuse her, do you think there was any kind of... Because when she said it was a challenge, I think the words were... I can see this is going to be a challenge, as in challenge to get the information. So do you think she was coming from a point of, you look not you look interested, but... That's
probably exactly what she was thinking in about literally.
Or, I wonder...
Your hair, like, it's interesting. Sorry, let me behave.
And so was kind of coming from that kind of point of view of okay, so obviously you're black, you're not from England. So we're your people. Where you from, like, originally? And so in my head, I'm thinking, could that have been a chance for her to say, okay, I'm from wherever it is she's from, or originally she knows where her original ancestors are from. Do you think it could be a conversation of, okay, I've been to such and such, or do you think that could be an angle where it could have come from because you use where your people from?
I'd like to say yes, that'd be really optimistic and really hopeful, but the answer is no. I personally don't think that was her intention at all. Like, no, I don't think she was trying to make conversation and see what they have in common to build a rapport. None of that. I just think you were rude and out of order. And just because, like, in most situations, because she's black, you don't think she can be from here. Like, you don't think she can have a British passport. Like, no.
But she even said, I think in the conversation, she did mention, how long have you been here? Or when did you come? So, yeah.
The assumption, when did you come?
Yeah, when did you come?
Like, she could have been born. No, see.
She did say she was born. You had to say, literally, I was born here. And but she continued. So, no, Shirley, I don't think
you know what it is? It's the persistence. Because she kept going on, and the tone that comes with that. And maybe one of the things in isolation, maybe not, but it was the moving of the hair and repeatedly asking her where you're from. No, where are you from? Where are you from? And there's only one way that can be taken, because if it was blue-eyed blonde hair woman, that wouldn't have even crossed their mind to be like, where you from, or push hair out of the way. Because even if the woman had long European hair covering her name badge, I doubt she would have even pushed her hair out of the way to even look at her name badge. But the fact that she felt she could violate the woman's like that by moving her hair out of the way, If you can't read my name badge, just ask me, innit? What's your name?
Ask what's your name, exactly. If it's covering, if something's covering.
Or if you can't pronounce it, again, ask me how you pronounce it. What's your name? But moving my hair, that's the first error. Yeah.
She could even ask her about her name and say, your name is interesting.
Exactly.
What does it mean? You know,
all of that.
Yeah.
She wasn't interested. And that's why I say all the things in together make it very clear that what her intention and what she was trying to get at. Definitely.
So you don't think she wants to know further about ancestors or...
No.
And also with the moving of the locks thing, so not trying to say because she's 83, but we know, you know, in the black culture, to be touching, you know, someone's hair is not looked upon very kindly. So her being the age that she is and where she's, her background of being a royal aide and, you know, not living, you know, in certain areas, do you think this is something that she wouldn't have thought was wrong, to kind of just like move the lock out of the way?
Maybe to move the locks out of the way, she wouldn't necessarily have known. I say that reluctantly because I still think she should know better and does know better. But like someone said on telly today, I don't know who it was, the position that she's in, whatever her title is, she's been around people from different cultures. She's met them in formal situations like this. So you know better. Like 83, I'm not trying to hear that because there's some savvy 83-year-old people out there. So we can't just say, oh, she's 83. So, you know, we have to excuse this. We have to excuse that.
And the fact that she's a lady in waiting, she has travelled.
Exactly. Different cultures. Yeah.
So, it's not like she was sheltered and was living in a little village where she's not seeing any other people. And the thing about the hair is, even if it was a white person, you wouldn't touch their hair to move it out of the way. Yeah. So why did she feel that she can do that to Ngozi?
Exactly.
Do you think she was intrigued? Because if it was maybe a white person's hair that she's used to.
If you're intrigued, then ask questions about my hair. But then there's a way about asking them as well. That's the thing. But again, we're not here about my hair. We're here about women and girls against violence. Let's just do what we've come here to do. Like, ask me about sister space. It's not about my hair. It's not about what I'm wearing. It's not about where I'm from. This is why I represent. This is why I've been invited. And then keep it moving. There was plenty of other people in the room. That's all you had to do. Oh, you're from sister space. What do you do? How long have you been doing it? On to the next person. But now she took time in her day to annoy the woman and ask her where she's really from. No.
Okay.
100 different ways.
100 different ways. Okay. So, okay. Any more thoughts on that? Any more thoughts on that? Any more things to say on that? No. All right. Okay. So, let's move on to I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here. I don't always watch it every year. I've watched it a few times. I'll watch it if there's somebody I specifically want to watch on there. But this year, as we've seen, Matt Hancock was on I'm a Celebrity. Now, in my opinion, I don't believe that he should have been on there as somebody who's a member of Parliament. I don't think he should have been on a reality TV kind of show. That's just my opinion. And I thought it was a bit strange. What do you think? What do you think of him being
I
there?
completely agree. Very strange. He didn't need to be there. Why was he there? And more to the point, yeah, he's there, but he came third, which means the public put him in first.
They liked him secretly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's the worst thing about it. He went out like he beat Charlene, he beat Scarlett, he beat Chris Moyles, he beat the amount of people that he beat. So someone's voted, isn't it? But,
But they did like seeing him as well because they were voting him in for all the challenges. So
but then even that stopped after a while. Yeah, exactly. Even that airtime. And that don't faze him. He's got that poker face as them people do. So he went through all the trials, like nothing didn't matter. Got them their stars, won all their hearts.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he done well in the trials. You can tell.
I don't really watch it, but I know that he was doing all the trials.
He was doing all of them and winning all the stars. So he kept going back. The camp loved him, seeing him in a different light. They're like, we've got to accept him for who he is in here, not the nonsense. Obviously, they didn't say nonsense, but not the things that he's done outside in his role. But ultimately, in there, you just want to be fed, innit? So you don't care who's getting the stars.
True.
So I guess it's just like, any publicity is good publicity. So whether it was good or bad, he got himself out there and got talked off again. So,
and it's a space for him to say things that he probably wouldn't necessarily have the platform or people listen to him if he wasn't in the jungle. Like, they have moments where the camp just sit down and chat and ask random questions, or in his case, not so random questions. He knew he was going to be grilled in there. And someone asked him about the episode or this incident where he was caught on camera with the woman.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like, I just fell in love. Like,
oh, really?
Really?
Oh, so he explained himself.
I mean, maybe some would say explained. I wouldn't say explained. It was that was his response, really. I mean, I just fell in love. Yeah. I'm not here for it.
Is he still with the woman? I wonder.
Yeah, she met him when he came out of the jungle.
That bridge.
And he said they're still
really? Yeah, oh, that's interesting.
It is.
You see, we didn't know that about him. Now we know.
But that's what I mean. It gives him to share what he wants to share to an audience that wouldn't necessarily hear him at any other point, because different kind of people watch I'm a Celebrity to where he would normally be speaking, I guess. But yeah.
Even though he doesn't really get a cabinet role now, he'll still get something. Now people know him. His name's out there. Yeah. I guess it was for himself and his career, so he knows where he wanted to go with it.
And reportedly got paid a large sum of money to be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it's fair that he should have been allowed to be in there, especially as a member of parliament? And I don't think think
it was the first time there was a member of parliament that came. I think it was. Yeah. No, it's not.
It's not the first person.
There was a Scottish member of parliament, I think.
I think the uproar was just because of the way he conducted it. I think it was, if it was any other person, people might still be giving side eye, like, why is there a member of parliament? But I think because of him, but then that's why he got paid so much, and that's why people watched and wanted to, because of the scandal that was surrounding him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have wanted him in there. He wouldn't have been interested.
Yes.
He's not going to get the ratings in, is it?
Exactly, and that's my point of the scandal surrounding him with the pandemic and with the woman and his behaviours not being very professional. I'm thinking, is that fair to put somebody on to give them that kind of platform to kind of get themselves in a better light when he should have been acting more responsibly previously? Is that fair to give him that platform?
I don't know if it's necessarily fair, unfair. I don't know if I can really answer that. But when it comes to TV bosses, they're not here for that, whether it's fair, whether it's unfair. They're here, what's going to get us ratings?
True.
For our program. Ultimately, that's all they want. That's what every show wants, good ratings in it. And when it comes to celebrities, you get celebrities that are going to bring something or looking at a little exposure. I mean, you get ones that you have to pay enough money, and then you get ones that you only have to pay a little bit that are trying to build their career.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
that's true.
But he must be paying a very good PR company to help him.
He's going on another
his
show.
Image.
Well. Apparently he's going on Celebrity SAS as well. That's what I heard. So he's doing doing the rounds with the TV shows, isn't it?
Maybe he wants to change careers and become a TV personality. He'll be on Good Morning Britain next.
I was just about to say next thing you know, he's sitting next to Susanna hosting the morning. I don't put nothing past these people. I swear.
Exactly.
Them kind of people will still be all right. Yeah. Them people are always all right and still come out winning. Like, it's crazy. You can do something so...
And everybody will be talking about how they hate him, but they'll still be watching, what's he said this morning? And
Same with Piers Morgan, isn't it? Everyone writes, I hate him, but he had ratings when he was on Good Morning Britain. It was
a lot.
That's true.
Yeah. Again, it's about who's bringing in the views.
But that's true. That's true. The next thing I was going to say is nothing related to this, but I was going to say recently I've been listening to Stormzy, and it's so random what I'm saying, but his new songs are really good. I really like them, and I like Stormzy anyway, but I never really listened to his tunes properly, blah blah. But these last few, my gosh, Hide and Seek I love, and there's another one, I can't remember what it was, two that I've had been listening yesterday. But I just love the way he's kind of changed over from grime to this kind of softer singing, and I just like it. Is it just me? I don't know. I feel like he's got not just a younger, the younger, because I'm still young, right? The younger crowd, but a lot of kind of like ages into him, because he's able to change, and I like that flexibility where he's gone for a kind of different, not image, but a different sound.
I feel like I'm doing enough talking, but
Go on.
I rate Stormzy, and I know a lot of you say you think he crosses over from young to old. I personally think he caters now more to older, not like the younger teenage. I don't think, from my experience and what I know, teenagers don't really rate Stormzy, whereas me, and I know a lot of my peers, kind of rate what he's doing, because he's done his bit in grime, done really well, but also a very smart individual, and has branded himself very well to the crossover and making himself appealable. What's the word I'm looking for?
Appealing,
yeah, appealing to different audiences. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I think, and now he's very comfortable with himself and where he is. So he is able to do that. It's less about who likes it, who doesn't like it. But when you reach a certain level or status, you can kind of do I don't really care, I'm just doing it because I love it kind of. You know what I mean? Whereas in the beginning, you're making your money. Like same like with Beyonce, for example. We're not going into that. I'm not part of the Beehive. But as in, she kind of went with what she had to do for the media. And then as soon as she was at a certain level, then she started to become do more cultural things, black things, bringing African life. Because then she's at a point where no one can't tell me nothing. Even if you don't like it, I'm still loaded anyway. That's how I feel where Stormzy's at. And I respect all of what he's doing. He's even dressing different because Mel made him do it, obviously. Looking slick every time. And he's got the helping students get to Cambridge University. And like you said, he's changed over his music style, and he's openly talking about his relationship with God. He wasn't doing that before when he was singing about grime. But he's like I said, I feel like he's at a point where he's just like, this is me, innit? This is what's working. But also very smart, knowing that grime is not going to pay the bills forever, and branched out. So I rate that. He's not a fan really of the music, if I'm honest, but I'm a fan. Fan's the wrong word. I just rate him and think he's doing really well for himself.
Yeah, I don't. Can I just stop you there? I'm just gonna say, if you've just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Chat with Shirley B on Rotation UK Radio. You can download the app from our own personal app from the Play Store, or you can listen it in via the web, rotationukradio.org.uk. And we are here with Davinia and Faith talking about random ramblings, and we've just talking about Stormzy and his new change of music and who he appeals to. And Faith was just about to say something about Stormzy.
I was going to say I don't listen to his music.
Oh. Okay then.
I can't really comment. But I've seen him on telly the last couple of weeks, a couple of days he's been on television promoting his new album. And he does seem very spiritual and talks about just going with his creativity and letting people, be creative that are working with him. So, I think he's grown in his music. And he's just going with his true self.
I love that as well. I like that he said that actually in one of the interviews, saying that he welcomed, I think he even said about the Holy Spirit, welcome, and just waiting to see how he's not just going with what, he's just waiting for that to happen and how it guides him in the music. And I also like that there was the fact that what he's doing for the young boys, is it Oxford, or this money he's raising to put them into, I can't remember if it's Oxford, what's that word called? helping, I think it's into Oxford, helping young black boys. And he mentions in one of the songs that he says they say that I'm not racist or whatever. That he's anti-white because he's helping them, but he's just saying I'm pro-black. And when he said that, I was like, wow, I didn't actually know there was any kind of comeback about him helping them. And I just thought, why is it that, he's doing something good, and the reason he's having to do that is because they wouldn't have got that experience, or that it would have been harder for him. So he's doing something good, and the fact that he's saying that was a comeback that he was getting, I was thinking, what a shame.
But the people that are saying that are the people that wouldn't acknowledge that those are the people that need help.
Yeah,
I mean, they either they wouldn't acknowledge it, they're not aware of it, or they don't care. But as soon as he's decided to do something, they now got a problem with it, where they just need to relax. Because like you said, if they didn't need that help, he wouldn't be in a position where he had to help them specifically. Yeah,
because if they had the opportunity, and I think it's so clear and evident that these people want to get opportunity, so he's helping. So how can you say that to someone who's helping? Because the people are saying, are you going to say, no, don't spend your money, we'll spend the money? I don't see that conversation happening. I think that's just really sad in this time of year, big 2022, that people can still be saying he's anti-white just because he's pro-black, trying to help people, young black men, young black boys.
But people think that though. As soon as you're pro-black, they assume it's anti-white, like they go together, which they don't. But I think people make that assumption.
People forget that the black people would not get the opportunities that white people get. So sometimes you have to push for that. And that's where he's putting his money. So, good for Stormzy.
Yeah, but their privilege doesn't allow them to see that. And again, like you've said, why do they care where he's spending his money?
Exactly.
Right? I don't see why that would be an issue, but it clearly is.
That he's worked hard for. And the thing is, it's just also going on that as to say, he's helping them, but I lost my train of thought. But when it's somebody, I don't know, organisation or just helping people, but they don't say it is for young white women of, I'm just going to say random age, 16 to 24, or young white people. There's not said. So then it's not that they're anti-black, it's just that's how it is. But when someone says, I'm doing this for people that look like me, who are disadvantaged, who need an opportunity, then it's anti-white. And I think that is really annoying. And he's doing such a great thing. I think it's just really, sorry, I think it's just a frustrating thing, just because he's saying it's for them.
I think there'll always be naysayers, people saying, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? Especially with the young black men that are doing things for their communities, like the footballer Marcus Rashford, would you say?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying, why are you going and talking about schools when you should be concentrating on your football? And, they will talk about you, whatever you do. So
it's a hate thing. But if it was a white footballer that did what Marcus Rashford did and feed all the stuff, because that wasn't specifically for black children, that was children in general. Yet they still had a problem with it. And from my perspective, they only had a problem with it because it was a young black man. If it was a white footballer, well, one would be like, why are you focusing on that and not on football? Oh, you didn't score because you were focused on feeding the children. They wouldn't say that.
Exactly.
They wouldn't say that. But
exactly.
The colour is always an issue, isn't it? So
this is the thing. So we'll wrap up here for the first half. We're going to go to a short music break, so please join us straight after the ad break with Let's Chat with Shirley B.
Keep on, just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want. Sky is the limit, and you know that you keep on, just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want, have what you want. In first grade, all the kids loved him because he was faster than Jim. So every day I made sure I was running faster than him. Popularity started to shoot up As I grew up, I realized God made me wise, and one day I could say I blew up. Being from the islands, football was foreign, but when I joined my first team, every game was scoring. Got MVP, just 6 years old, and every season after I was about to fit that role. Couldn't miss that goal. Third grade started to hoop hard. Teachers made your boy switch schools, and I was too smart. See, my test scores was wonderful.
Yo, check this out, y'all. This is P. Diddy.
This is Lauryn Hill.
Yo, what's up? This is Kanye West.
Hey, this is Jennifer Lopez.
Hey, what's up? This is 50 Cent.
On Rotation UK Radio.
Keep it locked right here.
Hi everyone. My name is Shayna, and you can tune into my new show, The 411 Show, every Friday at 5 p.m. and listen to my repeat episodes Saturday at 7 p.m. This show consists of various chatting segments with my friends and family. Sometimes we're going to be serious, sometimes we're going to have a laugh. Tune into Rotation UK Radio.
Festive gift ideas to steal the show this Christmas? We've got them. Christmas feels from free activities to festive dining experiences. We've got them too. This Christmas at Westfield London Shepherd's Bush and Westfield Stratford City, find gifts out of the ordinary from hundreds of stores and a wide range of activities, including live music and a chance to meet the man himself, Santa Claus. Your Christmas is all wrapped up. Westfield. More extra, less ordinary. Tap now to learn more.
You know, excellent, I represent for Rotation UK Radio. Proper sitting. Tell them I like a sitting.
Hi, and welcome back to Let's Chat with Shirley B. If you've just joined us, we're now going into the second half of this conversation. We'll be talking about different topics, different subjects with my guests, Davinia and Faith. You can join us every Sunday and Thursday at 7 o'clock on rotationukradio.org.uk if you're listening via the web, or you can download our personal app via the Play Store. So without further ado, we'll go back into the second half. And we've been talking about a range of different things. We've been talking about Stormzy. We've been talking about Matt Hancock. We've been talking about the problem, the issue, what's at the moment with the lady, the godmother of Prince William, that was questioning the woman that was heading up the domestic violence organisation about where she was from, and that's been trending at the moment. So we've just been talking about different views and opinions, and what we're going to move on to next is I wanted to talk about 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. I saw something on Instagram recently about, I think it was from ZZ Mills and Lynn May, who's like a political correspondent that is on the news sometimes talking about different things. Basically, that it's not all about, because a lot of people have started businesses now on the wave of entrepreneurship, etc., and they were both kind of saying that it's not all about, you know, glorifying or entrepreneurship. That's not the only way, and there's nothing wrong with you know, someone having a 9 to 5, because it seems that people are kind of on the wave of, you know, if you're doing a 9 to 5, it's kind of like not popping, it's not great, it's not a good look. And I'm just saying, yeah, it's fine to have that. It's because you're making money. It's not this versus that. That is okay, and it always has been okay. So just want to know what your thoughts were, guys, on this subject. What do you think, Faith?
I think COVID actually showed people that they could be more creative and do what they really want to do, instead of being stuck in a 9 to 5 job that you're not really happy with. Mm-hmm. And you're just going into the job to make money, and you're not doing something that you really enjoy doing, or, you know, something that brings you joy and fulfills your life. It's just going to my job to get money to pay the rent,
yes,
to be able to eat, to be able, and you know, you're not really enjoying yourself. But if you own your own business and you're doing something that you're passionate about, I think you put more energy in it. Yes. And you feel more positive within yourself, and enjoy it. So I don't really see anything wrong with owning your own business and doing something that you want to do, rather than just being stuck in a 9 to 5 job that you hate.
Very true. Do you think though this kind of thing, because they were more like saying when people are saying they've got 9 to 5, that is kind of like these days looked down upon, as in to say, you know, if you're not doing business, then it's a bit like, oh, you're in a 9 to 5, you're just in a office job, you're just in a...
It depends whether you love your job or not. If you do love what you're doing, then that's fine. If you have trained to do that, if you've gone through 4 years of university and you come out and you know what you're going to do and you enjoy doing that, you know, become a doctor or a lawyer, or, yeah, you could do your 9 to 5. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that there is nothing wrong with entrepreneurship at all, but I do think it is very much thrown in your face. I do think social media especially does make it feel like if you're doing a 9 to 5 that you're not really living, and why are you working for somebody else? You should be out there doing your own thing. Whereas realistically, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Like it's really not. It's not an easy road, but I also think there's a lot of people out there that make it look easy, like the influencers, people like that, because they would say they're entrepreneurs and it working for themselves, but they make it seem like it's easy. But what people don't always see, and I think even Zizi Mills will say herself, like, for example, that she didn't just get where she is just overnight. She's been doing it a minute before she's got to the levels that she's at now. But being an entrepreneur is hard. It's hard work. You've got to do everything for yourself. You don't make money in the beginning. You've got to have a different type of mindset. It's all about saying, I want to do this and I want to make that money. But the mindset that you have to be a successful entrepreneur, not everybody has it. And it's not for the faint-hearted, because it's not easy. And I think
you have to put in a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
And I think people get fooled into thinking, yeah, it's just easy, because a lot of young people now do have things that appear easy. They're not easy, in my opinion, but they look like they are. So a lot of young people especially feel like they don't need their grades, they don't need this, because I'm just going to be an entrepreneur. And you're like, not with the mindset that you've got, you're not. Like,
you need to have money to back you up as well.
You need to have money to back you up, and you've got to be determined. You've got to be focused. People are going to tell you your idea is rubbish. People are not going to support you. You can't be going out to eat and socializing on a regular basis, because your money is going to be so limited, because you don't make money straight away. But I think the main thing is the mindset and the drive, because being an entrepreneur, especially, it can be lonely. Because it's just you one, unless you're going into business with a friend or something else. But if it's you one, it's a lonely road. And yeah, some people like to be around other people.
Hard work initially, very hard work.
Very. And there's no one to push you, because no one, like, from my perception, I'm going to say the universe or whatever, but God doesn't give your vision to everybody else. So the same thing you're working hard for, I'm thinking like, I'm going to make this, I'm going to do this. Everybody else might be looking at you sideways like, really, is this going to work? So you've got to be able to put that to the side, stay focused, don't listen to all those naysayers and haters and whatever. You've got to market your brand. You've got to think about where the money's coming from. How long is it going to take you to make it back? It's constant. And 9 to 5 is generally 9 to 5. Entrepreneurship is 24/7, especially in the beginning. And I think people think, no, I can just go on holiday when I want. Okay, but you go on holiday and don't work, then what? Because I know for most people, when you're working a 9 to 5, you go on holiday, you're still getting paid because you got annual leave. So that works. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur and you just started out, you can't afford to be going on holidays and taking breaks, because who's running that? Like, you just started up. You can't pay no one to help you out in that sense, and you can't rely on friends and family, because that doesn't always work out either, does it? Let's be honest. So I think entrepreneurship is great, but it's just not for everybody.
Or you could have your 9 to 5 and do your second job or your business on the side. Yeah.
That's what a lot of people try.
Alternative, yeah.
That makes sense.
Until you've sort of built it up and then go into that.
Yeah.
So 9 to 5s are important as well, just to keep the money coming in.
Exactly, and you need 9 to 5s. If everybody was an entrepreneur, how would that even work? Because entrepreneurs need people to work for them. So it's like you need 9 to 5ers, like, definitely.
That's true. And I was listening to something yesterday, I don't know where it was, and someone said, I think it was a vlog actually, it was a vlog, and someone was saying that sometimes it's you have a business and your family or your friends, they don't even support, but something else comes out and they're quick to support, and you be running this thing, and sometimes the friends of the family are the ones that, you know, the last to congratulate you, and the guy was saying they don't even want to look in your eyes to say, yeah, well done, and blah, blah, blah. Why do you think that is, that sometimes it's not your closest people that are supporting you, or quick to kind of like support something else and not really look to you to support your thing?
I agree with that. I think you'll find when you do start something, it's the people that are not closest to you that tend to support it. And often I think it can partly be because they're just not your target audience. Like, and it's as simple as that. So they're not necessarily going to buy your product because it's not for them. And I think that's okay. But I think that's where people go wrong when they're starting out. They're thinking, I'm relying on my friends and family, which is, the wrong mindset to have. Because if I don't need what you're selling, I'm not going to give you the money. I'm not going to buy it from you. But yeah, I just think that's not the right mindset. And I think people will pay big money like for concert tickets and whatever. But then if their friend or family is running a business, even if they need that service, I think they find it hard. I can't speak for everyone, but sometimes people find it hard to separate. So for you, like if you're running a business now and your family are going to come to, like friends and family, they just still see you as just Shirls, not Shirls, the whatever it is you're doing. Like if you baked cakes, they're still going to want a discount or for free, because to them you're just Shirls, isn't it? It's not a business. They might come to you late or pay you late and be like, I haven't got the money this week, but can I pay you in 2 weeks? Whereas they wouldn't do that for any other business. But because you're Shirls, you're the cousin or you're the auntie, in their head, it's all right, isn't it? But again, if they don't have a business mindset, to them, that is okay. But for me, that's running a business, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because when I need to go and buy the baking ingredients for the next cake, I haven't been paid for the last one. Yeah. It's not helpful. I don't need that in 2 weeks. I need to make another cake tomorrow. Yes. So I need you to pay. Do you know what I mean? So I think some cases, I think they find it hard to separate you from being that friend or family member. And others, I just think it's a sense of entitlement. Yeah, but you're my friend, isn't it? So it should be free, which again is not helpful. And them friends can't work, really.
And also, I think if you're starting your business, you're going to look at your family and friends to help you initially. Maybe you need some funding. And, you know, if they're supporting you, they're going to have to put their hands in their pocket and help you out initially. So maybe they'll take a step back and say, why are you going into this when you have a perfectly good 9 to 5? You're making enough money. Why do you want to now leave that all aside, asking me for so much to put into your business? I don't know where it's going to go. And, you know, your family could step back a bit because they're not into your vision.
Exactly. So because the vision wasn't given to them, it's hard for them to see outside of that. And also, if they're fearful without them even knowing it, if they feel like they couldn't do it, they're not going to be able to convince you to support you, because they'll be like, no, that's madness. Like, how is that even going to happen? When really in them, they probably want to take that leap as well, but they're not brave enough. And someone else that's brave enough, they're still like, yeah, no, I can't support that because it's not going to work. But when it does work, they'll be the first ones to be there, be like, yeah, I was there.
I remember when you started.
Yeah, exactly. You remember when you didn't pay me no mind? Yeah.
I remember it started. And I was just with them, for the nights, and the courage and.
They started in his bedroom, the corner, the one machine.
Oh my gosh. But if you just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Chat with Shirley B. We're talking about different subjects, different topics today, and we've covered the last one, entrepreneurship. We talked about Stormzy, we're talking about Matt Hancock in I'm a Celebrity, and all different bits and bobs. And we're just talking about entrepreneurship versus the 9 to 5, and family and friends capturing the vision, and whether they support. Why is it easier to support others faster or quicker than your own family members when they start a business? And I also wanted to kind of go on to the point of I'm always saying to my friends that an area where I work, I always see like different like pop-up stalls and from people that are not from London or from the UK, and really trying hard. And I noticed that not all the case, but I believe in some circumstances, people that are not born in London, born in the UK, they often work so much harder and their businesses thrive kind of quicker than those that are born in the UK. I don't know if it's just me that thinks this, but I really admire that they really try very hard and through snow, sunshine to really, you know, with their businesses. A lot of these are kind of outside stalls, and I just admire that, and I just think that I think sometimes these people work a bit harder. I don't know if it's because of we have I suppose it could be a big thing that we have the welfare system that is there to kind of as a backup, but also why do you guys think that? Do you agree or not agree, or maybe it's just me that thinks this? Faith?
I think if you come from abroad, you'd find it hard anyway to get into a job easily. So you have to think outside the box and think about what you're going to do for yourself to make that money.
Yeah.
So you're coming from abroad, you have nothing, or you have a little money to start up with. What are you going to do with that to make sure that you have something to feed your family the next month?
That's true.
You know, so yeah, they work harder. As you say, we don't have the welfare system to back you up. If you're from abroad, you're not entitled to any benefits. So it's what you're earning is what you're bringing home.
That's true. That's true, actually. And also, could it be part of, so not having the welfare state system, but also coming from much more harsher backgrounds and knowing what it is to, you know, like some people.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they say, I came from nothing. Sometimes I didn't have no food to eat, but you did have a little something.
Well, you got a different drive, innit? When you've come from that kind of background, assuming the kind of backgrounds that we're talking about, where you've literally had nothing to learn with no opportunities, you come here and it's suddenly like England, London has got a wealth of opportunities, whereas to us that's just standard, isn't it? We're just like, like you said, we've got the benefits that we can collect if we don't work, and that opportunity might be there, but no big deal. Whereas if you come from somewhere else, you come to London and you're like, whoa, there's a lot going on here, and you just want to grab all the opportunities you can get, I guess. So, and like you said, I think if you've come from a hard background, even if you haven't come from abroad, if you've come from a hard background, your drive is different. Even when you look at celebrities that have like proper made it and make millions, when you really look at their story, even if you think you've been through hard times, you hear their story and they were hard times where they literally went with no food or they were homeless. So they've come from that. So their drive and mindset is like, I'm not going back there. So I think there's something different inside you. Whereas if you're kind of always been okay, always had a food in your mouth, generally always had a roof over your head, kind of just survived, no big deal, then you're not as hungry, should I say, I think.
That is true, actually. And one person that comes to mind is, I remember his name now, I've nearly forgotten, Stephen Bartlett, when he says that, when he says that he used to go into the burger shop and put his hand down the back of the seat to find money. And I was thinking, my gosh.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
all them people that are loaded, their start was not good. You think of Oprah, who's loaded, like her start in life was
rough.
Yeah, real rough. And look at her now. And Eric Thomas, another guy that I follow, motivational speaker, he's obviously doing really well now, but he was homeless, lived in his car. Like, all of these people just... Yeah, so you come with a different energy, isn't it? It's not just, I need to make money. It's like, I need to do this to survive, because if I don't get money, I'm not eating.
That's true, For
us, if I don't go work, might get a one benefit to come through the door, or if I take today because I don't feel well, I'm still getting paid. There's still this coming at the end of the week. They're still getting paid at the end of the month. Even if you're just getting child benefit or tax credit, that's still coming. So
that's true.
The drive is different. Sometimes there isn't no drive because you're all right. That's why you always hear people running down, like in other countries, they be running people down for money. Like if they got kids, running, and you're like, why are you running the man down? Because they don't have a benefit system here. No one don't really run down their baby father or their baby, because, all right, if you don't pay the state rule, it's fine, isn't it? It's fine. So,
And people from abroad, some of them have taken a lot, sacrificed a lot to come to this country. So, that's in their mind. Like,
they're going to make the most.
Paid for me to come, so I have to do something with my life. I can't just,
100%.
Go and get a flat and live in like a bedsit for...
Whereas if you're born here, You just take it all for granted somewhat.
And money home as well, because there's people relying on you, so you have to put that. Yeah. So, there's all that motivation. It's a lot riding on it.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's so true, actually. It makes me think, actually. Now we're just having the conversation, just makes me think of how much money I just, not waste, but could use differently, so differently, and could maybe have more. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to think a bit more about what I'm doing, because that money for somebody else, that would make such a huge difference. And sometimes taking it for granted of, you know, I can do this because I earn this, and I can do that because I earn that. But it just making me think of, there's a privilege of being born here. There's a privilege, and people that come over, they're pushing, and they're making sure it works. Mm-hmm. And that makes wholly percent, which makes sense why Stephen Bartlett is so rich, because he was putting his hand down down the sides of the chicken shop thing.
I don't think that's right. He's rich.
Well, I'm saying he's that desperate that he was doing that. Why he's made so much money, because he was so destitute and so, what can I say, such
hungry for it.
Yeah, literally, as you said, something had to work. Because I think he said at this point we dropped out of, wasn't getting all his parents, dropped out of uni, didn't have a good relationship, and was kind of just like trying to just make it on his own. So, guess the fear as well of, as one of you said as well, not wanting to go back. And I think I've heard stories where people are saying, I can't remember who's the other day, who has a business, and they were saying how they run their business. It's like they not pretend that they're poor, but they just keep on going because they never want to get to that state where they was before. So they'll just keep on going. And there's so many entrepreneurs that I think, well, not that they could stop. Candy is one that comes to mind. Candy from Escape, that is in obviously the group Housewife, but she's got all these businesses, and not that she can, or she wants to stop, but she's still going. She's not at the point where she's saying, I can relax now. It's like the hunger and the drive is still there. That's what I admire. Even though she's got so much money, there's still,
I think when you're making that kind of money, or once you hit a certain target, there's always something else you want, so it's never enough. Even if it's like, I just want to buy my first Lamborghini or Bugatti, whatever, you get that Bugatti, you're like, okay, there's a next. So there's always something that you're striving for. So it doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going. Multi-millionaires, billionaires, they still don't stop. And you're like, really, you've got enough money.
That's the thing.
But they don't stop, because there's always them kind of people. That's just what they do. Their mind works like that. They just keep going. They keep going. And it's not because they need the money, surely. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you get used to a certain lifestyle, so you have to maintain that. I hear that. But ultimately, I feel like you're always striving for something.
Yes, that is true, actually. And another one that I watched about, who else I watched, because I like to watch these programs, as you can see in here. Damon Dash, that was on the one that you watched as well, that was on Stephen Bartlett. Yeah. He's just, I could watch it again, actually. He's just such a breath of fresh air, because he just talks about the drive and continuing to wanting to do things, and the way he explained something, he was just saying that I'm just having fun, being free to create what he's creating.
Well, the money gives you the ability to do that as well, I suppose.
That is true.
The freedom to just want to
do what you want.
Because you know you can experiment and see where this is going to go. Exactly. Yeah. You can be that money, and that's the thing. I think people strive for money, but for me, the nice thing about money is that it does give you that freedom to just be, innit? But you can definitely afford to just think and be creative when you've got tons of money in the bank.
And go off and buy new businesses and have an idea and say, where we can get with this. Let's try this, guys.
Exactly.
Another thing.
No pressure. There's no pressure.
No pressure.
It doesn't fail. If it fails, it's all right, cool. On to the next.
Okay, yeah.
But for people like us, where we're striving, and if you want to create a business, if it fails, it's a problem, because I've wasted all that money and now I've got a failed business. Whereas if you've got loads already and you've got tons of money in the bank, You fail, you just keep it moving.
Yeah.
That is,
and I think they also look at it as helping others, like bringing people up to where you are, you know, sharing the wealth.
That's true, actually. Guys, we've come up to the end of this conversation. I really enjoyed it. I love talking about all the different subjects and all the different topics, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. Any last words for any of the subjects, any of the topics that you wanted to add on that you might not have got to say, that you wanted to say?
Well, it was nice and refreshing talking about different subjects today. So thank you for inviting us, Shirley.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. So, to all the listeners, you were tuned in to Let's Chat with Shirley B on Rotation UK Radio, and you can catch the shows on Sundays at 7 and Thursdays at 7, and you can tune in through the web on rotationukradio.org.uk, or you can download our personal app through the Play Store to listen to the shows. We'll be with you again next week, and thank you for tuning in to Let's Chat with Shirley B.
I've been searching. I've been looking, every now and then makes me wonder. You were the best thing, baby, to ever come into my life. With you, I never had to worry. You kept me so satisfied. Every time I think about you, baby, girl, it just blows my mind. How could I let you get away? I must have been